Hi, this is Lee, and I want to take just a moment and talk to you about why I do what I do for your real estate needs. Back I got my license originally somewhere around 1980, and back at that time frame, being a real estate agent was dramatically different than it is now. When you listed somebody's house on the MLS, it was a laborious process. It took a lot more time, and importantly, the listing was published in a book. Now, the book publication deadline, in other words, when you had to get the information about the listing into the MLS, had a deadline, and then the book came out 2 weeks later. So if you just missed the deadline, you were in the next book, which was almost a month. Now, whether it was 2 weeks later or a month later, as the listing agent, until the book came out, the only way that the property got marketed was if you did certain things. And so the things that at that time that you would do is you would place classified ads in the real estate section of the newspaper. You would print flyers and you would take them around to all the local real estate offices. You'd get on the phone and you'd call up all the agents that you thought that you had a relationship with, and that you'd try to get them to show the house. You'd hold open houses and put signs out and hold open houses from Saturday and Sunday. And those are the things that you would do as a listing agent when you've got a new listing. Now, as a buyer's agent, it was a little different. If you represented a buyer, you'd have to flip through the book. There was no automated searches. You'd flip through the book and you'd look for homes that fit the needs of your clients. And then you would make a list of the homes, and then you'd call up every office, because you'd have to drive to the office to pick up a copy of the key so that you could get into the house, and they'd register or log the key out in your name. And then after you showed the home, you'd have to take the key back to the office. And so as a buyer's agent, not only was it much more laborious to set the listings up or to set the showings up, because you had to do it yourself. You didn't have a showing service like you do now, but you also had to both make a trip to the listing office to get the key. And then after you showed the home, you had to make a trip back to drop the key off. There was a lot of time invested. And because of both of those kinds of things, the 6% commission, 3% to the buyer's agent, to the listing agent, and 3% to the buyer's agent, total of 6%, that was the norm. And I got to say, back in the 80s and the 90s, before the internet, you earned that 6%, whether you're listing a home or selling a home, because you did a lot of work. Now look at the age of the internet. All that's gone. It is so easy, comparatively, to list and market a house or find a house for a buyer. In fact, the amount of time is incredibly less than it used to be. When you list a home, all of the things that you do, preparing the contract, preparing the competitive market analysis, collecting the information, putting the information into the MLS, getting the contract signed, going over the comparative market analysis with the client and pricing strategy, doing the home staging and talking about what you need to do to get the maximum value for your house when it starts showing. All of those things are take maybe 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. If you know what you're doing, it doesn't take a lot of time. You have showing services and all kinds of things now that make it much easier. When you list a house on the MLS, it automatically goes to realtor.com and Trulia and Zillow and Ebby Halliday and Caldwell Banker and Century 21. The list is almost endless. Marketing a house is really all about getting the information into the MLS accurately, getting good photographs, and then that's pretty much it. Now, there are a few other things that you can do, but it's really not magic. It's a pretty straightforward process. You don't spend nearly the amount of time that you used to spend. And so I don't think you really deserve a 3% commission. Most of the time agents invest in listing a house is about building a relationship, because let's face it, as the seller of the home, you don't want to just give 3% of the equity of your house, which is what you're doing, to somebody that you don't like. So most of the time that agents spend building their business is building relationships. Well, we do things a little differently. Now, if you're representing a buyer, you don't have to drive around to offices to get keys. You call a showing service, you set up showings, you've got an app on your phone, you go to the house, you unlock the super box, you show the house, you put the key back in. You don't have nearly the time invested in showing homes that you used to have back when the 3% buyer's agent commission sort of standard was set. And in fact, today, with all the tools on the internet, most buyers do a lot of the work for the agent. They pretty much know what they want and where they want and what they can afford. And they come to the table very well prepared. They've done a lot of the legwork for the agent. So does it really still justify paying an agent 3%? I mean, as for the typical home that's, say, a $500,000 home in Collin County, 3% is $15,000. Now, if you're listing the house, does it make sense to pay somebody $15,000 of your equity because they're putting it on the MLS and doing several hours of work? Does it really make sense if you're the buyer's agent to earn 3% if the client has done a lot of the work for you? Well, the reality is I don't think it does. And so I offer a 1% buyer's agent representation where at closing, I'll rebate the other 2% to you as the buyer so that it can help cover your closing costs. And as the listing agent, if you hire me to list your home, I offer 3 different options that can help you get on the MLS starting at just $299 in terms of cash up front and get your home sold. There's a nominal additional fee at closing, but that covers negotiation services. That's a flat fee for sell by owner process. I also offer a flat fee full service listing and a full service listing, which is a 1% commission at closing. So if you want an experienced agent, by the way, I've sold over 2,200 homes in my career. That may not be the most, but it's a lot. And there's a lot of experience that I bring to the table that I will help you get the maximum price for your listing if you're selling your home. And I'll help you get the best deal when you're purchasing a home. I bring all that experience to the table to help you. And I do it the smart way using digital technologies. And I just think that makes a lot of sense. If you agree and think that makes a lot of sense and you'd like to talk about either putting your home on the market or buying a house, please give me a call or go to my website, sellerbuyforone.com. Give me a call. You see the phone number there, sellerbuyforone.com. You can find it in the link below if you're not already on the website. Thanks for watching, and I hope to be able to talk to you soon. Bye.